Hey YouTube, it's David again with another review. This time I'm going to look at some accessories that I recently got for this Osmo Pocket. This is not going to be an Osmo Pocket review. There are thousands of those out there on YouTube. So I'm not going to go into the pros and cons of the Osmo Pocket, but I'm assuming you found this video because you perhaps already have an Osmo Pocket and you're looking for some accessory ideas other than perhaps what DJI is currently offering. So that's the position I found myself in, and the accessories that I decided to buy off of Amazon turned out to be pretty good purchases, and there are some things I wanted to sort of share with you that you can do that are significantly less expensive than the options on the DJI accessory website. So let's start with the first thing that I wanted to share with you. I was looking for a mounting bracket for the Osmo Pocket that I could use with my GoPro mounting accessories. And of course DJI sells one, and it's only like $19, but unless you're buying other things, they want to charge you another $15 for shipping and handling. And there's some pros and cons to the one that DJI offers. So I went looking for an alternative, something that was a little bit less complicated, less expensive, and maybe gave me a few extra options in terms of how I'm able to use it. What I came up with was I stumbled across this little bracket guy here. It's by Skyreet, and I'll give you a close-up of that. But essentially it's made out of aluminum. It's very simple, and it is about 13 bucks, so not dramatically cheaper than the DJI version, but it's very well made. So instead of being just plastic, it is made of aluminum, so it's rugged. And it's got a silicone liner here so you don't scratch your Osmo Pocket while you're using it. So it's pretty cool. And it does come with a 1/4-20 tripod mount and the typical GoPro, threaded connector along with the thumb screw. I'll leave links to these items in the video description in case you're interested in buying these. This is unsponsored. So these are just items that I found useful and I thought I would share with you. But let's talk about how it works and how it might be, better or worse than using the one from GoPro. So first of all, the one thing that I notice is that, and I would call this a con rather than a pro, is that you have to really take it off of the connector here in order to put it on the Osmo. There's a pro to that because it is a pretty tight grip. It's actually surprisingly secure, so I'm actually very happy with how secure it is. But when it's not connected to the base unit, it slides on. You can definitely feel it's grippy, but you can keep it on the very bottom of the unit. You don't have to slide it up very far. And if you put the label facing the display side of the Osmo Pocket and then attach this with the little curvature pointing toward the bracket, you can just kind of squeeze that and work that in. Then you can attach the thumb screw. Pretty much all normal stuff, right? Now what this allows me to do by attaching it this way is it keeps the USB-C port on the bottom accessible so that I can easily charge it while it's mounted. Now I believe you can do that with the DJI version, but with the DJI version you must remove the accessory port that you use to connect your phone. But if I were to take a tripod, and by the way, this is a Manfrotto Pixie mini tripod. You can pick this up for like 20 bucks, or maybe just a little bit less than 20 bucks. And it is really rugged. You can use it like a selfie stick mode where you're holding it this way. It's very well made. So I super highly recommend this. I've actually used this guy with the Osmo Mobile 2, which is a lot heavier, as you may or may not be aware, this guy here. And with this whole rig, I took this thing to Italy with me and did a bunch of time lapses using the Osmo on this Manfrotto mini tripod. So highly recommend this if you're looking for a mini tripod. But now that gives me a really quick and easy and super stable and secure. I mean, this is not going anywhere. Your Osmo is not going to fall out of it. You could attach this to a selfie stick, obviously. And it is super secure. So you can use this for using the motion time lapses or stationary time lapses or whatever. This is a super easy way. It's much better than that little mounting plate thing that you see on the bottom that you can order either from DJI or other people. They're like $9, but all they do is set it on a little flat bottom that gives a little flared out surface on the bottom. So makes it a little bit more secure, but this is definitely not going anywhere, definitely not going to get blown over by the wind. Now, this kind of brings me to my other point. Since the USB-C port is open on the bottom, I can be doing a long-term time lapse, and I can be charging with a battery pack, for example, or plugged in if that happens to be convenient. But I have complete access to that Type-C port on the bottom to do that. Now, the other thing that I had been looking at was the $60 option to buy from the DJI site to get the Wi-Fi base so that I could do remote control, so I can not have to touch the unit and do really smooth panning for wide landscape scenery. And that's $60. And it might interfere with your ability to mount the unit on something that's got a tripod mount on it when you're using it. So it really dramatically limits you in how you can use it that way. And oh, by the way, comparing again this to the version that DJI makes, which is a little bit bigger, the little connector that weaves into this base unit is actually up here, way up high. And so your Osmo Pocket ends up being at a pretty steep angle, which you can get around by changing, obviously, the camera position up here. But it's not ideal for every circumstance because it prevents you from being able to stand it upright, which obviously gives you a little bit more flexibility in some of the things you can do. So just having that extra option there is kind of nice. All right, so back to my Wi-Fi base unit. Now, what I liked about that is it gives you the ability to connect your phone remotely via Wi-Fi and then control the unit for panning, as I mentioned, without having to touch the unit, as compared with using the accessory port on the side and connecting your phone in this way. This is actually not ideal, though, because it's not super secure, and I know you can get brackets that hold your phone up all there, but it's just a lot more gear to start carrying, and it really kind of makes it a little bit more cumbersome, a little less portable when you have to operate the unit with this attached. So what if there's an easy way to do that without buying the Wi-Fi unit? Sure enough, there is. I came across these. These are by Brexlink, and this is the box it came in. It's just like $10, maybe $1 or so less than that, but you get 2 of these cables. And this particular one, again, this is Type-C to match the port on the bottom of the Osmo, and it also matches my Galaxy S9 Plus just fine. So it's about 6.5 feet long. It's braided, so it's very heavy duty. It's rated for high-speed data transmission as well as fast charging. I took a chance when I bought this because I didn't know for sure if this would work. So what I want to do is it comes with these handy little cable ties as well. But what I want to do is I want to attach it to the bottom of the Osmo Pocket. Right? And so I can have that on a tripod. And one thing I have to do, actually, when you're using this, is with this accessory port, you either have to remove it, right, or you have to turn it around the other way. So it's in this position. That basically deactivates the accessory port connection and activates the bottom for data transfer. If you forget to flip this around, on your phone, when you plug it in, it'll just say something about unable to charge, like there's some kind of an error. So now, if I power the unit up, goes through its little quick power on self-test there, and it's up and ready to go. When I plug this into my phone, just as though I were plugging it into the accessory port, you can see it will auto-launch the Mimo app. And up it comes. It'll flip around. And now I can do all the remote control while not having to actually touch the device. So from here, I flip it over here, I can slowly pan. If you can see the camera head on the Osmo Pocket moving, and you have complete control here. So, and another big advantage over that little pan wheel with the little thumb dial that the DJI sells, and again, that's fairly expensive. I think it's like $60. Is that only goes horizontally with the thumb wheel unless you flip the switch, and then it only goes vertical. So there's no sort of smooth pan where you can go to the left or right and up in a diagonal fashion. With the remote control, you can absolutely do that. Move it up and down as you go. And the further you move your thumb, the faster it moves. So that's just normal functionality built into the Mimo app. So it's super cool and super easy to use. You actually get 2 of these cables in the box. And again, I'll put the link below in the video description so that you can check those out if you think this might be a good fit for you. I imagine they probably sell one that's got a Type-C on one end and a Lightning connector on the other. I don't know that for sure. I haven't looked for it. But if all you need is USB Type-C to Type-C, if you have an Android phone, then for basically $10, you get 2 of these ruggedized braided cables that are 6.5 feet long. And they give you basically access to the functionality, at least within 6.5 feet, that you would have with that $60 Wi-Fi base. So I find this, I think, to be a much preferred solution for me, and it's one less electronic gadget that I have to worry about making sure that it's not sapping the power, you know, from my Osmo Pocket, because it has to obviously draw power from the Osmo, which already doesn't have the greatest battery life in the world. So, you know, the one negative with this that I can see is obviously you can't be charging your Osmo Pocket while you're using this cable. But in any case, I'll be using it for very short landscape panning when I'm out and about traveling. And so I'm not going to be really needing to charge it with a battery pack while I'm using it with the phone. So I hope you found this helpful. If you've got any other cool accessories that you've seen or that you've personally bought and tried out that you really recommend, by all means, please feel free to comment below and leave those in the comments section. I'm always interested in looking at what else is out there that might be cool. Thanks for watching, and have fun out there.